E chord. That sounds great on the guitar because it utilizes the open E's, or the open E's, and it's the lowest chord sound you can make on the guitar. So it sounds really great for rock and roll. Okay? And once again, the fingering choices perhaps would be either this or this. Pretty much the two places you could play it. Most times being this one. Okay. And then as we move to our last open string chord, we have the D shape. Okay, now look at the D shape, and you'll see that there's only one open string that we're using here, and it's the open D string. That is the lowest note in this chord that we're playing in this particular voicing, and the remaining notes are fingered. Okay? So that's what's going to sound like a D chord. And in reality, I could tell you that this open A string that I could play underneath it would also be part of the chord. If I strummed it, it would sound okay. I just like to show you this first chord with the root being D, so you can really hear the tonic in the bottom. Because this A is available, but it's the fifth. It's the fifth below the root, so it takes on a different kind of a feeling that way. So let's just keep the root in it for now. Okay? So I'm sure that perhaps a lot of you at home might have seen all these chords before, right? But that doesn't mean that it's bad to review them, okay? Because we're going to take all these chords and we're going to do a lot more than just play these simple chords. We're going to add things to them. We're going to build chords and make other kinds of things happen out of them, okay? So let's take those open string chords and just play them back to back if we could for a minute. Let's start with the C chord right now, and I'm going to give you a count. I'm just going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to say C, okay? And then we're going to move to another chord after I give you the cue. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, C. Okay, let's go to the G. Let's go to A. Let's go to E. Let's go to G. Let's end on C. Okay. So all I'm trying to show you there is just a steady quarter note strum with a clean technique, switching between all these chords that we've just focused on. Okay? We're going to get much more deep into the chords and rhythms and strumming really quickly, but I just want to show you these basic chords right now. Okay? All right. So now that we've worked on these chords and we've gotten them under our fingers, let's put them to practical use and play them over a couple of very simple short progressions. Okay, so why don't you take a look behind me, and I will refer to the progressions by the numbers that I've written next to them. So, two chords that sound great together are the C and the G chords. I could potentially put all these in one progression if I wanted to, but I'm just going to break them up into four simple two-chord progressions. Okay, so let's take a look at the C chord and get used to moving that from C to the G shape. Okay, now let's just go over a few details of my progressions that I've written just to make sure everybody understands. First of all, you might be wondering what these sort of diagonal lines are. This just simply means that you're going to play time in this case. They're called hash marks, and it just represents a rhythm guitar time. So you can play quarter notes right now, which is essentially just 4 strums per bar. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we change to the next bar. Okay, these are the measure marks right here. Okay, this means this is a time signature, and this is referring to the concept of time. A quarter note is going to receive the beat, and there's going to be 4 beats in a bar. So we'll talk about that in some other more advanced lessons about some of the concepts of music theory. But just understand this means there's 4 beats in a bar. Okay? These are the measures, and these little dots on either side simply just refer to the fact that we're going to repeat the measure. We're going to repeat this 4-bar progression, just then loop that. So these are repeat marks. Okay? So here we go. Let's try it now. I'm going to start my little drum machine, and we're going to play along with it. Here we go. 1, 2, progression number 1. Okay? These quarter note strums is all I want to hear. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it 2 more times. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to make the chords perfectly clean. All the notes should be ringing. Okay, let's stop right now. Here we go. Okay, so seemed easy enough, right? No big deal. Well, let's try it with some of the other chords. We're going to eventually combine these together. All right, so let's continue on with the second progression where we can utilize the E. Ooh, I meant to write another chord here. How about the A chord? That would sound pretty good if we put it right there. Okay, so let's take the E and the A chord together and put those. These are going to sound really good together because they utilize the low strings of the guitar again. The open E has the lowest E, and the open A has the second lowest note. Open string is the open A. So let's put those together. Here's the beat, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, try to use the A chord 2 different ways. Try to use it with one finger, like this. It's kind of hard to play the open E that way, but now try to do it with fretting all the notes, like this. Now you can really let the open E ring. Okay, let's stop right here. Okay, so all I was saying was that the open E you pretty much use one way, but when you get to the A, you can play it like this and let the open E ring on top really nicely, or you can play it with a fretted with one finger here, but it's hard to kind of let the E ring out, so you don't quite get the full sound of that open E string. But it's fine; it's still an A chord, even like that. It sounds like an A chord. Okay, let's go to progression number 3. And move the chords through a little bit quicker. We're going to go from the G chord to the A chord that we just played into the D chord. Okay? So let's try that, but let's pick up my tempo a little bit here. Okay, so let's take a look at this progression number 3. And I'm going to change the beat a little bit here to make it more exciting. But we've got 3 chords we're going to put together in 4 bars. We have the G chord, we have the A chord, and the D chord. So they should sound pretty good together too, because all those chords all belong to the same key. Okay, so let's listen to the rhythm here. That should work. Notice I changed my strumming pattern, right? One more time. Okay, now I didn't really tell you I was going to change the strumming pattern there. I did it kind of naturally to fit the drum beat there. But I'm going to explain how to read different types of rhythms and what I actually was doing in later lessons. Right now, I just kind of showed it to you, and I'm sure you just picked it up. But we essentially played some eighth note rhythms inside that rhythm. But you'll realize that when you do that, when you start adding different types of rhythms, you'll notice that I played some upstrokes with my pick. Okay, whereas before I was just all playing downstrokes. Okay, so naturally, when you're playing the downbeat and the upbeat, you utilize an upstroke with your pick. So I was going, right? So that's hitting the stroke on the down, and then also on the up, and that gives you a different kind of rhythmic possibility. So. The main thing is that you just keep your right hand loose so that you can utilize whatever attack you want, up or down stroke. Okay? So we'll do that again maybe on rhythm number 4. Okay, before I play the last progression, I'm just going to give you a little advice on the strum I'm going to use that'll make the chord progression a little bit more interesting. We're going to get back to that down-up thing again. So I'm going to play the E, the D, and the A chords with a little bit of an eighth note strum. And I'm going to talk about that in later lessons, but let's just show you what that's going to look like. Okay, now check it out. I want you to see how sometimes I'm using my thumb to mute some of the open strings. When I play the E chord, I pretty much let all the notes ring. Okay? 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Because all the strings resonating sound great. But when I go to the D chord, okay, now I'm trying to be careful about where I'm picking, but I'm only trying to hit the D string here and above, the 4th string above. I'm trying not to let the open E and A ring. And to help with that, I take my thumb around and I kind of deaden the bottom 2 strings. So you'll notice that I go like this. So this thumb is slightly killing the bottom strings, deadening the bottom strings, or muting, you might say. Okay? And then when I go back to the A, I pretty much let all the strings ring except for the low E. I try to mute that with my thumb. So there's a little bit of subtle left-hand technique happening to make this chord sound right. Okay? So the rhythm again is. Okay, now with the band. Ooh, a little faster. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, wasn't that cool? I thought that was pretty fun. A little faster than I was going to show it to you, but I think you got the idea, and you can practice that, of course, at home and put it with your own drum machine or metronome, whatever you want to do. Another way you could practice all these chords is just to go from progression to progression, just in one seamless kind of exercise. That way you could actually get the practice of moving all of them together. But anyway, that's our first lesson today. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've learned a lot of fundamentals that are important, and we're going to build on these in every lesson afterwards. So really study these chords, and I'll see you on the next lesson.